All right, welcome to another wonderful Friday in northern Minnesota. Beautiful week as we head into the fall type of the year. I know it's not technically fall yet, but we're certainly starting to see the colors in the trees, and you can smell that in the air. Football, which the Jacks will be playing tonight at Chet Anderson Stadium, their first home game, so that will be... I say that because part of our topic today is Dr. Levike is with us from Sport and Spinal, from Chiropractic Sport and Spinal Rehab.
Hi, Mark.
And we're going to talk about sports injuries today.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure that a number of households throughout the whole country, there's some younger individual in the house that has an ailing bone, body, something, that they have some type of injury. And we have them in our town as well, so we'll talk about that coming up. On this week's edition of Sport and Spinal Weekly, we'll also talk with Waylon from Snap Fitness later on the show today. And they got some exciting things to talk about. Their challenge coming up here at Snap Fitness. It's another week of Sport and Spinal Weekly. And remember, they can get information from this show on the website. They can get that podcast of today's show. Plus, everything that you guys do is pretty much on there.
Yeah, the clinic. Yeah, definitely. On the website there, you can get a lot of information about our clinic, our services, our fees, and yeah, you can always call as well. Nicole is always really pleasant. 444-2117.
Yeah, that's the other thing. There's somebody that's going to be there and answer the phone.
Definitely.
Take your information, or you can just show up there in the technology park over on 71 North.
Yep, right by Paul Bunyan and Beltrami Electric.
We'll have all of that and more today's show. This is Sport and Spinal Weekly. All right, we are back, and it's another edition of Sport and Spinal Weekly. Remember, you can catch everything online, and this show, podcast, old shows, questions you have. You can email the show as well, sportandspinalweekly@paulbunyan.net. We're talking sports injuries today. Dr. Levike is with us, and, the fall sports have started, and I know that some of the winter sports are getting warmed up, I guess I can say.
Definitely. I mean, BSU starting its athletic season, and then we got the high school level, and all the sports in town here, hockey and football and all the other ones.
Yeah, Shrine Game coming up this weekend for the Beavs, so that's always fun. And I think the ice went on in the Sanford Center on Tuesday.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Select a seat night. So it is that time of year, and we're talking sports injuries. And I think one thing is good is for parents, maybe their kids aren't saying anything, because when we were talking off the air, I had mentioned, and I'm sure just how it was, in the 60s and 70s, but you really didn't say anything about your injury in fear of
not getting played,
right? And I'm sure some of that still goes on today.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But still, it's kind of dangerous, and we don't, and if you have an injury, what I've learned from you guys is that if you don't take care of it, it'll just turn into something worse.
Well, I think the worst is the concussions, because they accumulate. It's like fill the concussion cup, it just kind of adds to the other one, and they heal some, but not completely. And if it's a major concussion, you will have some permanent damage, and the second concussion will accumulate and add up on that, and then you'll start having some pretty obvious signs and symptoms.
And so that's the thing that we can talk about today is things that we can look for or notice, because sometimes, like if somebody's knee or something that's pulled, it's obvious because they're limping or gimping.
Yeah, definitely. Musculoskeletal injury is obvious, but the brain. We were talking offline a few minutes ago, and I think people around you can notice more your disability or your injury than yourself, because you're probably just thinking it's normal, or you're not even thinking about, you're slurring your words, or your memory, or you can't remember a number or something, and somebody around you, your parents or your friends, will notice it more a lot of times than yourself on a concussion. And
that certainly has a heightened awareness, the whole concussion situation. And I've had this talk with others, and I'm like, well, what are you talking about? In 1947, they had leather helmets. And then it was also pointed out to me that, that we're bigger and we're stronger than those players back then. So I guess we hit harder today, and that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, you had the college level as well with the weight and the height of the players are getting bigger and bigger with the years. And, maybe 30 years ago, you played football, you were, 6'1", 6'2", that was, it's fine. But today, with the NFL, if you're not, a certain height, 6'3", 6'4", 6'6", you're just not going to make it,
Mm-hmm.
So bigger, more weight, more impact, definitely more injury.
So, and then they, this past week, the studies out with the U of M and the NFL, and I suppose that will certainly shed light for all kinds of different, for all kinds of people like your industry, the clinic, to where when you have more knowledge about concussions, you'll be able to help people.
Yeah, and when you go back to play, for a concussion, if there's a chance that you're going to get hit again, what's safe, and there's not really a real answer right now. So I think, when you see the athlete or the person speech, returning, and there's no other, memory loss or things are, looking better, you run a bunch of tests and everything's clear, then you feel it's okay to go back. But definitely the brain.
Is there a certain level of concussion where you guys say, you're not going back for a while?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, there's some obvious signs and symptoms that you're out. You could be out for months or even the year, the season.
What's refreshing and all that I've heard is that it's not about, can't play no more, or we're going to we're just canceling football because people get concussions. It's, what's safe, what we need to know. We need to know good information so we can tell them when they can go back in.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's good, I think, because I don't think it'll be healthy if football goes away.
No, and then with concussions as well, relating to chiropractic, of course, is then you get, whiplash injury. A lot of times you get the facet joints in the neck, the ligaments in the neck sprained, of course. So you really got to get checked.
I didn't even think of that. That the fact that you have a concussion, it's not just your brain that's going through any trauma. It's your whole body.
Definitely.
So then, and I suppose during a game, and we shouldn't just say football, because soccer, hockey, we just use football as
skiing. I mean, any fall, any trauma to the head or neck, you'll necessitate a good exam for sure, a good evaluation, and then usually treatment. Of course.
What does boxing do? Do they have a lot? I'm assuming, do they have a lot of concussions?
Yeah, definitely.
That's probably a big one for them.
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly something that I'm sure you guys want to know more too. Feel comfortable about sending people back. But we need to look for, and you've said it a number of times, when it's concussion, and when we observe a family member or a friend or whoever, is it fairly obvious to us that...
It is, especially when they're tired. I would say when, at night, when people will, at 9:30, 10 o'clock, start looking for their words or slurring, or, it'll definitely be obvious if they're tired. More obvious, those signs and symptoms will.
Okay. And then, let's say that we had a Friday night game, got a concussion, we get checked on Monday, or maybe right away. Do things change within a couple days, or will you be able to tell what's happened?
Yeah, if it's a minor concussion, things will come back to normal, pretty quick. Depending on the degree of concussion, of course, then you'll have symptoms lingering or lasting longer for sure.
And now, certainly, when there's injuries to the skeletal or muscles, right, that takes a little.
Yeah, sprains and strains, ligaments take a while, muscles, joints. Definitely, if you sprain the facet joints or the spinal joints as well. So it's all, they all work together. You can't really separate them. So at chiropractic, at our office, Sport and Spinal Rehab, we do treat as a whole. We treat the musculoskeletal system, the muscles, ligaments, the spine, and then do whatever we got to do at that point to accelerate healing and make sure those injuries heal correctly.
I also think about Dr. Erickson talked about chiropractic doctors like yourself actually at games setting people up before the event and how your body would work so much better. I always wonder, if you have an injury, is there something that you guys can do during a competition for an athlete if they?
If it's a sprain or strain, there's a lot of professional teams that have chiropractors on the sidelines. If it's a mild sprain, or a facet joint that's irritated or a muscle spasm, of course, immediate intervention by the side of the field is really effective. I mean, in some cases, in other cases, I mean, you got to stop and reevaluate and get him in the office, but for a little more detailed treatment. But a lot of times pre-game as well. I mean, if you can get adjusted and
running on all cylinders there, so to speak.
Make sure your body's going 100% before you enter the field. That's a lot of athletes right now do that, utilize chiropractic that way.
Well, from one extreme to the other, you're going to have sports injuries pretty much if you're an athlete in a competing type of sport.
At a certain level, yeah.
You get sore at least. Yeah. You're not playing too hard.
We're just having fun, skateboarders or whatever. Right. I mean, you don't have to
skiing
and yeah, definitely.
What about golfing? I'm sure there's a lot of sports related for this older individuals.
Somebody drives a ball in your head.
That'll hurt.
That'll get a little concussion there.
Well, that will bring this week's segment to an end. Sports injuries, and there's a group of individuals working on them every day to prevent it or see how we can take care of get players back in sooner. Well, Dr. Vloek, you have a good weekend.
Yep, you too, Mark.
When we come back, we'll close out the show. This is Sport and Spinal Weekly on 92.1 The River. All right, welcome back. Sport and Spinal Weekly. In the studio with us, Waylon from Snap Fitness. Good morning.
Morning.
Now, you guys are, you, of course, in your new location. You've been there for a little while, right?
Yep, we got there April 2nd was the first day that we opened, and everything's been going great since.
And now you guys have a challenge coming up.
Yeah, we have the 2012 Winter Ready Challenge. It's going to be a 6-week body transformation challenge, kind of like what you see on TV with The Biggest Loser, just a lot more personalized for you. Group fitness classes are great. Personal training is great, but this is a more affordable way to get the personalized effect of a trainer. Also in a group setting, add a little bit of a friendly competition for you.
Oh, okay. So it's the 2012 Winter Ready Challenge?
Yep.
And when will that get started?
That's going to start October 1st, and it's going to run 6 weeks. It'll end right before Thanksgiving.
Perfect. So shed some pounds before the holidays.
That's right.
Can people get registered for that ahead of time?
Yep. Pre-registration is required. Registration will end a week before the challenge actually starts, and we'll have some workshops in there, a couple of grocery store tours. If you register before next Wednesday, you get a private one-on-one personal training lesson with me, absolutely free.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good deal. If you pre-register, you're in for a lot of good stuff, and you can win some cash prizes.
Now, you saying that you guys are going to take a tour of the grocery store?
Yep, absolutely. We're going to go to Marketplace Food, and we're going to go around and show you how to shop for your healthy lifestyle.
See, right there is another excellent example. I mean, you said it in the beginning, everybody has their weight loss this and challenge that, but you guys, you have your Winter Ready Challenge, but you're also taking it that next step, actually taking folks to a grocery store and teaching them how to buy groceries to fit their healthy lifestyle.
Absolutely. That's the biggest thing is just everybody can do it for 6 weeks, but you got to take it the next step and go a little bit more forward with it. We're going to be there for 6 weeks, but after that, it's all up to you, and we really don't want you to have to rebound and gain that weight back.
So you when you go to the grocery store, you'll show them how to buy, and so you can help me understand that better?
We'll walk around the store and show you areas where you should buy from, things to avoid. Of course, everybody knows the middle of the grocery store is the worst part, but on the outside you have some bad things too. That's where the deli is, the bakery. We don't really want you stopping at those sections. The donuts always look great there, so we'd rather you not do that.
Leave the donuts at the bakery, not around
the waistline.
There you go. Now, Snap Fitness in their new location, you guys are you guys open 24 hours?
Yeah, we're a 24-hour location. We have staffed hours where you can come in, tour the club, talk to some of the trainers, the manager, and get yourself set up for a membership.
And you guys have memberships that are they vary, right? I mean,
Yeah, we have no contract and contract. We're one of the only gyms in town that is a no contract gym, and or you could do a full year contract and get a little bit of a discount there.
you guys pretty much have it all from therapy to fitness to now you got your 2012 Winter Ready Challenge.
Yep.
Online. You got some information there?
We have some on our Facebook. You can find us at Bemidji Snap Fitness, or you could go to our website too. That's on the Snap Fitness website as well. There's a little bit of information on there, and we also have a nutritional club in there, Bemidji Crush. They sell some nutrition shakes through there.
Oh, okay.
And first shake is always free. And if working out on your own isn't something you're interested in, go over across town to Knockout Fit Club, and they offer Zumba, Pilates, yoga, some kickboxing, things like that there. Kettlebell classes we offer as well. So
Wow.
we cover it all.
You certainly do. They can get all that on the Facebook and on the website.
Yep, absolutely.
They could call Snap Fitness.
Yep, we're at 444-9163.
And don't miss out on the 2012 Winter Ready Challenge. They'll shed some pounds before the holidays.
Yes, sir.
Waylon, thanks for coming in.
Absolutely.
All right, we are back, Sport and Spinal Weekly, and want to thank Waylon from Snap Fitness coming in, Dr. Levike for coming in. You got a busy weekend coming up. What is your tip for this weekend?
I would say before you enter the athletic season, come and get checked.
Oh, there's a good idea.
We'll take a look and see if everything's going 100% for you.
Lined up, ready to go,
Exactly.
optimize your physical being. Well, you have a good weekend.
You too, Mark.
See you next week.
Yep.
Sport and Spinal Weekly. Thanks for tuning in.